countdown is on in Jamaica. Voters will head to polling stations this Thursday to determine whether the People's National Party (PNP) will be returned to power or if the opposition Jamaica Labour Party will be given the go-ahead instead. On a Sunday, the opposition Jamaica Labour Party (JLP) made another effort to secure the electorate ahead of Thursday's polls. Speaking to a massive audience in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew, party leader Andrew Holness urged the nation to vote out the PNP and therefore rid themselves of poverty and unaccountable leaders. Holness took aim at both the Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips and Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller.
When we show them with 10-point plan, them start to cuss the plan. But you know what happen? Man who no have no plan, cuss man with plan, and woman who no understand the plan, run from debate.
He says the numerous projects that the PNP claimed would have benefited the poor have not come to fruition, and even greater issues have come to the fore.
Now all of you gathered here, and a lot of people watching on television and on social media, I know you want to change the government. But you know what? We have another mission as well. We have to change the way in which government works. And that is the real mission of change for the Jamaica Labour Party. We have to make government more responsive and more responsible. That if the dump go up in smoke, somebody must be held to account, man. And if people have to go to hospital because the smoke sick them, then the government will help them with the medicine. If bad gas get in your car, you know how much taxi man suffer because of that? Nothing, no help. And then you turn around and take with them car. Government must become passionate, understanding and responsible.
In closing, the JLP leader urged the Jamaican voters to put the same faith in his political aspirations as his family.
To the frustrated and the turned off, I say to you tonight, give it another try. To the uncommitted, I urge you to think wisely about your vote. The majority of Jamaicans say they are not happy with the way things are now. Not voting will not change things for the better. All it does is keep things as they are, and they will probably get worse. The only way to change is to come out and vote for change. Vote for prosperity. I am committed to you. I've committed my family to you, to give myself to you in full service. Everything that I do, I will do it for you.
Meanwhile, former Prime Minister and JLP leader Edward Seaga took to the podium to thunderous applause on Sunday evening. He says he never expected to find himself on a JLP platform again.
Tonight is a big surprise for me. More than one surprise. The first surprise is that I never thought the day would come when I would put on my green shirt again. When I retired from politics in 2005, I took off the shirt and I took off the shoes. It's the same pair of shoes I was wearing in the 1970s. And I put them down. I put them down very carefully because I said, something tell me one day one day, one night, I'm going to need them again.
Mr. Siaga quickly shot down hopes that he was interested in taking back the party's top spot.
I am not here tonight to tell you that I want to resume my political career. Absolutely not. 45 years of that is enough for any one man. It's the longest period of time ever served by anybody in this whole Caribbean region, 45 years unbroken service. So tonight I am here to speak to you briefly, because we are all here to listen to the next Prime Minister of Jamaica.
And still on the election scene in Jamaica, the 2016 voting system was put to the test on Monday as scores of members of the security forces and election day workers cast their ballots ahead of Thursday's general election. More than 39,000 election day workers and members of security were eligible to vote on Monday. They exercised their franchise at approximately 282 polling stations across the country. Our news team visited the Jamaica Defence Force JDF headquarters at Upper Camp, St. Andrew, one of the designated polling stations for soldiers. JDF Electoral Officer Major Denston Smalling says for the most part the day's proceedings went well.
So far the proceedings have been going well. We have had only a few hiccups with persons expecting to vote where their names do not appear. But apart from that, things have been going well. The voter turnout has been good. The steady stream of soldiers have been coming. A lot of persons who are to be deployed have come and voted, and they have gone off on their duties. We are expecting others who they have gone to relieve to come in later this evening to cast a ballot before the polls are closed.
Meanwhile, voting went smoothly at the headquarters of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF's mobile division at Harmon Barracks. Only a few police officers complained about not seeing their names on the voters' list. Member of Parliament for South East St. Andrew, PNP's Julianne Robinson, was also witnessed the day's activities.
I am actually the parliamentary representative covering Upper Camp and Harmon Barracks. So I have the largest number of soldiers and policemen vote in my constituency. I've been to all the centers. There are 3 centers here, Harmon Barracks and at JAMAICA for election day workers. Voting is going very smoothly. The JDF increased the number of polling stations over what they had the last time so that they could reduce the congestion and the crowding. And I think it has worked very well. Persons can go to the information center over there, find out whether their names are on the list and where they should vote. So all in all, I would say the process has been very smooth.
And the ruling People's National Party is oozing with confidence ahead of Thursday's polls. Deputy General Secretary Julianne Robinson says the PNP has done the groundwork and has demonstrated to Jamaica that they are performers. Mr. Robinson argues that the PNP administration has transformed the economy and placed Jamaica in a better position than it was in 2011 when they assumed power.
The work that we have done over the last 4 years is sufficient for us to deserve to be re-elected. We have gone through a very challenging economic reform program where we have had to stabilize the economy, and we have done so while making provisions for the least fortunate in the society. So I believe we have done enough to be re-elected. We are obviously going to be focused. We have been through a campaign. We have 2 days to go. We're going to focus on election day, ensure that we have our logistics plan sorted out so we can bring our voters out. But I feel very confident with 2 days to go before the election.
And Mr. Robinson says the party is perturbed by the growing number of uncommitted voters. According to the latest Don Anderson polls commissioned RGR News, approximately 42% of Jamaicans say they will not participate in Thursday's election. Mr. Robinson says the PNP has tried to reach out to Jamaicans who have lost hope in the political process.
We have tried to reach out to them in a number of ways. We started our face-to-face series last year. We know that the uncommitted voters, they're not going to come to political rallies. They get their information in other ways, so we started that engagement, the face-to-face. We've also been using traditional and social media to reach out to that group as well. If it's a 60% turnout, it actually would be higher than the last election, which was somewhere about 52%. I don't know what the numbers will be, but it is obviously a concern in a democracy where so many people choose not to participate. I encourage people to participate because that's how your voice can, and you can have a say in the governance of your country. So it is something I always encourage people to do an assessment of both parties, look at the policies, look at the programs, and make an informed decision.
And the PNP Deputy General Secretary concedes that many have been left disappointed by his party's decision not to participate in the national political debates. The national debates were called off because the PNP refused to engage the opposition JLP unless its leader, Andrew Holness, apologized to PNP leader and Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller and retract statements made at a rally in Sam Sharp Square. Mr. Robinson says he's aware that the PNP's decision was frowned upon by many Jamaicans. However, he is not worried that it could affect the party's support.
Yeah, I think so. I think persons were looking forward to it. I mean, some persons within our own party wanted us to participate, but a decision was taken. Our view is that there are many ways in which a political party can interact with the public, and we have done so in many different fora. But yes, I do think a number of persons were looking forward to the debate. This is going to be hard to say. I mean, I have certainly gotten some negative reactions. Whether that is going to translate into people voting against you or for the other party is very difficult to say. But certainly there's been some disappointment expressed about our non-participation.